So we continue on with Odyssey Book 1, and we got up to about line 95, 96 last time, and so we're going to start here with hos epousa. And remember, in the context here, this is the goddess Athena, who is she's got Zeus to agree to send off Hermes, and she's going to go into Ithaka to stir up Telemachus to go off to Sparta and to sandy Pylos. So hos epousa, thus speaking. Now our main verb is here, edes at top, middle. It's from deo, to bind. So she bound up her colour pedila, her beautiful sandals. We see the ped root there, like in pous podos, a foot, pedal in English. So this is a sandal, neuter plural. So she tied her beautiful sandals, hupoposin, dative plural there, under her feet, from pous podos. Her sandals, which were ambrosia. Well, the traditional etymology of this is probably not correct. It's generally taken to mean immortal, with this brot root here. We've translated as immortal, but the exact meaning of this is not really quite clear. It's something to do with the gods that's certainly not human. So we might just translate it as immortal for the sake of translating it here. Crucia golden. So these are her sandals. They're immortal and golden. Ta, for her, which. Now, although it's neuter plural, we get a plural verb, which often happens in Homer. In Attic Greek, of course, neuter plural subject singular verb, but this is epheron. It's the imperfect from pharaoh. Min for auton, autan, as we've seen before. So which used to carry her, and we get amen, and on the next line ade. So amen f hugren, either literally upon the wet thing. Now hugren simply does mean wet or moist, but even back in the Iliad this was often used of just the sea. So it's a transfer of meaning. The sea is wet, and so upon the wet thing is upon the sea. So either used to carry her either upon the sea or upon the boundless land, a pair and a gown. Hama, along with, taking a dative, hama, along with the breeze of the wind, anemoio. Nice genitive there in oil. And halatop, this is the, we've seen this form before, this is the aorist middle, halon, or man here from Hyreo to take. So, and she took her alkimos, enkos, her valiant, her mighty enkos sword. Spear, I should say, enkos, her valiant spear. Akakamenon. This is one of these fossilized forms. You'll see it a lot in the Iliad and elsewhere. It looks like it started life as some kind of participle, but there is a verb akakio, to grieve, but this is not connected with it. This is from some different root. So it means something like furnished or tipped. And it's become a set phrase. So tipped with sharp bronze. And we get this interesting asyndetic sequence here, by which I mean you get three adjectives and they're not there's no kais or tets, not connected. You just get them one after the other. Homer likes things in threes. It seems to be an Indo-European thing, and so we get here this triple with no connectives. Heavy, large and thick. To for ho, with which damnasi for damnami, she tames the sticas undrawn, the ranks of men, and then we get a nice enjambment, men who are heroes. with which she tames the ranks of men who are heroes. Toisi de kotesatai obrimopatre. The te here is this generalizing te. This is our main verb here, kotesatai. This is from kotio, to be angry. And this is in fact an aorist middle, probably nomic, and we have this generalizing te. And the subject of it is this, which is referring to Athena, she of the mighty father, she of the mighty father. So this ranks of men who are heroes, with which she of the mighty father becomes, although it's aorist, it's nomic aorist, becomes angry. And the te is generalizing. So you could almost say with her, or whenever she of the mighty father becomes angry with them, with this generalizing statement. And again, this is a fairly it's a phrase that occurs elsewhere in Homer to describe her spear. Be decat Olympoio, and she went down. Now I've got a participle at the end. Ixasa. This is from aiso, to dart. So she went darting down the peaks of Olympus, and she stood in the Demos. Now in Homer, this always means land, not people. So she stood in the land of Ithaka at the forecourt of Odysseus. It's the bit in front of the door. And at the forecourt of Odysseus, Udu ep aleu, at the threshold of the courtyard. That's the threshold of the courtyard. And eke, which is from echo, but this is the imperfect. So you'd normally get ake in Attic, but you're getting the shortened form here, unaugmented form here. So she held Palame in her palm, or in her hand, her bronze sword. Now, when gods and goddesses appear to mortals, they always appear in various different guises, and this one is an important one because she's going to appear, so in appearance, like to Mentes. And this is an important character because Mentes is going to be the one who accompanies Telemachus off on his travels. So, appearing like Mentes, their xenos, their guest friend, the Hegetor, the leader of the Taphians. The Taphians, some sort of race of pirates, possibly from Corfu. Anyway, she appears like to him. Now, actually, just to mention this here, the Mentes, of course, is a male, and of course she is a female. And the funny thing we've got to watch out for is often when Mentes is referred to later on, with adjectives and things or participles, they often appear in the feminine, because although he is a he, it's really it's really the goddess in disguise. Anyway, so she found Hure from Hurisco, and she found the haughty suitors. Now, ara is this participle. It's probably connected with ararisco, to be fitting. So this is, you could over-translate this. You wouldn't do it in reality, but you might over-translate this as saying, as you might expect, as was fitting. So often just you translate it as then, but it has more of the sense of as you might suppose, as is appropriate. So she found the haughty suitors then, some of them then in front of pro paroithi, in front of the doors, eteopon, imperfect, were giving joy to their thumos, to their heart. So some of them were in front of the doors enjoying themselves, pesoisi, with drafts. This is some sort of, translated as drafts, it's some sort of game they played. Probably these were just stones rather than drafts in the modern sense, but they're using some sort of, playing some sort of game. And they were sitting on the rhinoisi. This is from the noun ris, often means nose or skin. Here skins, I think, of the cattle whom they themselves killed. And the kerokes, the heralds, and the otreroi, the trusty servants. We have to hold that for a minute. And then we get a description of these, hoi men and hoi de. So some of them were were mixing, this is from misgo, connected with mignumi, is the usual verb. Some of them were mixing for them wine and water in their drinking bowls, in their wine bowls, their craters. And some, the verb is here, nidzon, were wiping the tables then. Spongoisi, a lovely word, where we get our word sponge. So these were sponges with many holes in them. Even sponges have epithets in Homer. And protithen, from protithemi, it's something like setting up the tables. So they were wiping the tables and setting them up. And they, datunto, from datiamai, to divide up or cut up, pola kriya, much meat. And so we have this lovely image set up here of the area to which the goddess Athena, in the disguise of Mentes, turns up.